Hello, these are the books I've collected since the last video. That was about a year and a half ago. You can see I'm kind of progressively collecting fewer and fewer books, and that's like half a financial reason and half I've been running out of space on my bookshelves for years now reason. But this is what I've got. Before I get to these ones though, I've got a few that are too big to even fit here. This is Drop. It's a art book by Eric Canete that he was releasing along with it wasn't Kickstarter, but the crowdfunding for his Athena series, which is still ongoing. So that's a sketchbook that you got if you got one of the bundles, I think the very first issue. And then speaking of Athena, for the first two issues, he also released, like, this is too big to even fit here. Let's see if I can zoom out. This is the artist's edition for issue number 1 of Athena by Eric Canete. This is just the digital art in presumably close to its full size, with none of the text, none of the colors or anything. And he also released the same artist edition in volume 2, but we're up to issue 4, 3. I think 4 released most recently, and we haven't gotten an artist edition for issues or for volumes 3 or 4, so that may be limited to issues 1 and 2, and I don't know if those are even available anymore, because I backed those before they were released. Anyway, so that was Eric Canete. And actually, we may as well just jump to that, because we've got the actual, what was the, I can't remember the name of the site, but it's not Kickstarter, it's another crowdfunding site. So we've got Athena volumes 1, 2, and 3 by Eric Canete. He has released 4 volumes now, but the shipping to Canada is so expensive that I figured I would wait on volume 4 until at least volume 5, maybe volume 6 come out, and then order them all together to kind of save some money, because each of these volumes was coming to like $100 Canadian. It was just ridiculous, especially with that bonus content. It was like, I think it was like $250 per issue with the artist edition and the sketchbook. Great art as always by Canete. Back to the beginning here, we've got 4 volumes of the Ashley Wood Library Investigation series. Volume 4 just came in like yesterday or the day before, so that one was just released. It's still available if anyone's interested, because I know people are constantly asking about availability of Ashley Wood books. Unfortunately, it's still the same kind of Ashley Wood art book issue, where volume 4 is repeat art from previous art books. There is quite a bit of new stuff in here, but for all 4 of these volumes, there's a lot of repeat. I don't know why he does that, but that's just the way it is. Next, we've got Milk for My Coconut. This is another art book that I kickstarted, this time actually on Kickstarter. So this one was, it's digital art by Mateja Petkovic, and I don't know if I can even show this. I did a YouTube video of it, but a lot of it is kind of probably too explicit for YouTube, so keep that in mind. Really great art, though. Next, we've got the art book of Phil Tomato. Both of these are artists that I discovered on Instagram and have been following for a while. Phil Tomato, you probably recognize. He does kind of looser, quick-looking, kind of like sketches of girls, mostly female characters. Oops. Next is Birdking by Crom Christensen. He's a very minimalist, Mike Mignola-esque artist, and I think this was his, I can't remember, I think this is his first full-on graphic novel. In a previous video, because I was rewatching those recently, I have a Dark Souls sketchbook of art by him, and there may have been another one as well. So maybe this isn't the first, but it's one of 2 comics that he's released so far. We've got King Conan by Mudasrar. This is the 3rd volume in his Conan series. And I don't think I can't remember if I've read this one yet or not. I wasn't a fan in the first 2 volumes of how it was written and how kind of like, how concise it was. It was kind of going through the entire life story of Conan, but it was doing it in such a quick way that it didn't feel like a fleshed out story, you know. It was just kind of like an overview of Conan. The art by Asrar, that was amazing. That's the reason I collected it. Yes, we've got Birdking, King of Spies. This is a book written by Mark Miller, illustrated by Matteo Scalera. He's an artist that I really, really like. He's got like a really dynamic style, like kind of a animation influenced style almost. It's kind of like a James Bond-esque story, with some cool stuff in there. Pretty good. Amazing art as always. Can't complain about that. We got the Magic Order volumes 2, 3, and 4, and these are all by Mark Miller as well. But every volume is by a different artist, and usually I don't like to collect series by with art by various artists. But this one happens to be, every volume is by an artist that I really, really like. So this one is by Stuart Immonen. This one is Gigi Kavanago. And I admit I didn't know this artist beforehand, but the style is really good. I can't think off the top of my head who that looks like, but maybe like a David Gianfelice style, similar to that. Dyke Ruin, I think in my last video I mentioned that I was going to collect everything by him, and I think this is still only his 2nd kind of published full volume. So, love his work. I think the last one was Shang-Chi that I collected by him, and I think I kind of like the art a bit better in that one, but this one is very good. The story in Magic Order is really, really good. I think one of the best written comics that I have, in my opinion. So we went over Athena. We got a couple James Stokoe books here. Orphan and the Five Beasts. It's kind of like a kung fu story with monsters. I thought this one was really fun and a little bit different from his usual stuff. He's usually got like this really dynamic color style and like really detailed illustrations and everything. It was a bit funner than, for example, Sylvan Sluggers, which is an older of his books that I only just recently picked up, I guess in the past year and a half. The story is a bit slow. It's like his stories are always a little kind of like silly and different. But Orphan and the Five Beasts I was quite fond of. It was really good, and it was shorter, so it was easy to get through. Here we've got the art of Keziedra, who I randomly discovered on Instagram as well, but I love his work so much. I think he's maybe one of my top favorite artists. So that's great. I think he even commented on the video that I recorded of this book and was like, thanks for doing this. So that's always nice. We got the 3rd volume of Wergelder, which I'd been waiting like years for. This is Hiroaki Samura's kind of not modern day, but not like not what's the word I'm thinking of? It's semi-modern day, and it's like an action kind of adventure with, you know, ninjas and samurai and that kind of stuff, but not quite on the same level as Blade of the Immortal. This is a book by Benjamin, I think he's a Chinese artist. This book, unfortunately, is in German, so I can't read it. But I got these for the art anyway. Like, look at that amazing painting. It's just so good. And I got this at a really good price. I think it was like $10 or less or something. So that's good. We've got a little mini art book and biography by Ignacio No. And if you know, you know. But he's an amazing artist as well. Mostly digital, but he does oil paints as well. And a lot of comic work, a lot of kind of, I think he does some children's books too. I've got the first, what do you call this? Like the first omnibus? I don't know if that's what they called it, but the first omnibus volume of Berserk. I'm not even going to open it because it's so heavy. But love the story. Never was a huge fan of the art, but like I love the anime movies. I love the anime series. I read the first 10, 20 volumes online, but buying the physical books is just so expensive. So I got the first volume, and I was pretty sure I wasn't going to buy the rest of them because that would be like over $1,000 to get the whole story. Let's see, we got Oglaf Volume 4, which is just more of the same collected webcomic. Again, that's sexually themed, so there's that. Here's a Claire Wendling sketchbook that I got as a present. This is the only book of hers that I have. I wish she had like a big fat 300-page art book. That would be nice to have on the coffee table or something. Because these little sketchbooks are like really expensive. I think this was close to $100. Just this little kind of 80-page book. We got, what is this called? Grass of the Parnassus or something by Stuart Immonen. I don't know if it even says the title anywhere. It's really great, like super artistic book. Grass of the Parnassus. Weird title too. That for some reason that's the name of the spaceship in the book, as you can see right here. Really good book, amazing art, kind of cool like form factor with this hard slipcover and everything. Yeah, just fun stuff. He does a lot of experimental things, like the, what was it, Olive to Red King or something? I think a book that I showed in a previous video. So I love his like comic art too. Like he does mainstream stuff like Spider-Man, but this kind of side stuff he does, maybe self-published, I'm not sure. It's really interesting as well. Really, really fun, great art and everything like that. Here's the latest Sean Murphy Batman book. What's the series called? Like White Knight? Yeah, Batman the White Knight, but this one features Batman Beyond. So this one, a little less interesting than the previous volumes. I'm not a huge fan of Sean Murphy's art, but there is some Simone Demio in here, who did, I think he did like, we only see them when they're dead, something like that. Some sci-fi series that I think I was talking about in a previous video. That's amazing art, but the story is kind of eh. Anyway, he does a short story in here, along with the Sean Murphy stuff, which is the primary focus of this one. We've got the Marvel art of Ed McGuinness. I've always kind of been a fan of his. I used to collect his serialized stuff like on a monthly basis. I think he was doing Superman at the time. He's done a lot of Hulk work for Marvel. Isenboshi by Ryan Lang. This is a really cool book. I can't remember. I think I was going to kickstart it, but it was kind of a lot at the time. So I got this as a present from my wife. But I think this is a Toronto artist too, a local artist. What I really like about his style is kind of like really cinematically paced. and it's got that kind of movie look and how do you say, like composition and everything. It's really, really pretty. And I think it's based on like a Japanese legend or something. Here we've got Zazaza Illustrations. This is another one that I kickstarted. Let's see if I can zoom out. So you've maybe seen his stuff around. Another artist that I discovered on Instagram. Love his work. I actually have 2 copies of this book because unfortunately this first one came like pretty banged up. It's hard to show. So I requested a replacement copy, and I was even willing to ship back the original. And I got that copy, but it was equally banged up, unfortunately. And it turned out that the artist, I think his name is Xavier, I think he was quite disappointed in the shipping company that he hired. And this is his first art book, so I can imagine how frustrating that must have been to have people complaining about that. This is Alex Ross's Fantastic Four. So he wrote this, illustrated it and everything. And it's got like this cool kind of old school printerly look, where it's got like all those like the pure cyan and magenta and like those really brilliant colors. So amazing art. Pretty fun story. I think it's about the negative zone with what's his name? Annihilus? I think Annihilus was in this. Anyway, fun stuff. I've always been a fan of Alex Ross. And that's about all we've got for this video. I'll see you in another 1.5 to 2 years. See what I've collected since then. Thanks for watching.